It's time for the last episode of our 2022 prediction series. I'm not going to lie, if I could have picked any year to start doing these, this probably wouldn't have been the one. Nonetheless, we're going to head and give it a go. On this episode, we're going to get specific with it, and some of these are going to seem ridiculous. Some of them are going to seem really sensible. Either way, we're going to have a ton of fun. Let's hop right into it. And let's kick it off with something spicy. For our first prediction, I think Chinese investors are about to get burned. I don't like investing in Chinese stocks. I don't like the fundamentals of what's going on there. I think there's very corrupt government. I know there's lots of debate back and forth. Oh, but China's doing so well. They have so much lithium. There's plenty of countries with natural resources, some sort of economical advantage. But at the end of the day, communism does not compete with capitalism. We're undefeated. Always works better. Free markets always prevail. I think a lot of the communist policies that China is bringing back might help them in the short term, but in the long term, we will remain dominant. I say in 50 years from now, America is still top dog. I see no competitors. No one's coming for this crown. I do not predict a U.S. dollar crash, and I think actually I'm pretty adamant about this, and a lot of the hedge fund managers and investment advisors that I see constantly pitching Chinese stocks, big no. I think a lot of these investors are going to get burned, whether it's from China collapsing on itself or whether it's from U.S. officials saying no more Chinese investments by American companies and stop funding genocide. No matter which way I cut this cake, the slice always comes out stale, and I don't want to take a bite. 2022, Chinese investors are going to get burned. For our next prediction, I'm expecting a second market correction from some sort of geopolitical event. I don't know if it'll be war. I don't know if it'll be another trade war. Whatever it manifests itself as, the world has become very volatile. We're seeing a decoupling from globalization, which is, a lack of trade in between countries. When this occurs, it's no longer economically decentivized for you to start a war. This leads to future conflict. So I expect the one correction from, the interest rates that we all expect. I'm not making a prediction about that. It's pretty much priced in. Some are saying 3, some are saying 4. Either way, we know there'll be a correction for this. The stocks are too high. We'll see fundamentals come back. Now, the spicy part of this prediction is I also expect an evaporation of liquidity. As these corrections come in, I expect a lot of liquidity to disappear. Technical analysis will start to fail, and you might see a lot of these traders or traders that only know technical analysis start to get burned in this type of environment. It's going to be very essential that we come back to fundamentals. I think stocks are already showing this. I think we'll continue to see a depreciation of assets, especially those that are heavy in debt. For our third prediction, Twitter is about to get Facebook. Their reputation's headed down the drain, whether it's politically or whether it's socially. You can't go around just censoring people. Jack Dorsey left to go play with blockchain. This new CEO's decided that he's going to go to war with free speech, a war that I think he'll most certainly lose. This is a ship playing submarine, and its next act is Great Barrier Reef. For our fourth prediction, I'm calling out a big winner for 2022. I think Apple will go back from blue chip to high growth stock. I think they'll lead the way into the metaverse, and as they lead the way into the metaverse, it'll also draw consumers over to more of their services that are underutilized. Things like, Apple TV, or maybe their whole streaming service that gets no attention whatsoever. There are actually great shows on that service, and they've invested a lot into creating new ones. We also have the EV vehicles and the new AR and VR products. Apple, I think, could catch people off guard. And don't forget, we just had a bunch of people leave their jobs. They're looking around for where to work. They want flexibility. They want good pay. And who just gave all their engineers a $180,000 bonus to stay within the company? Keeping your talent is an important part of keeping your success. And they made sure that no one wanted to run off to blockchains or wanted to run to a competitor and got all the flexibility they wanted. I think this cult will continue to thrive. If you've been following my channel, this next prediction will be no surprise to you. I do expect uranium prices to nearly double from where they're currently at. I think there'll be a quick 180 in sentiment about nuclear energy, especially as this energy crisis continues, and especially as we start to realize that our most popular renewable energy sources are more expensive and they're not safe for our infrastructure. I think these technological problems in these areas will lead us to what is already the best alternative and already producing the most clean energy. It just makes sense. Up next, I think it's time for one of 2021's biggest losers to become a 2022 winner, and that's our pot stocks and our psychedelic stocks. Look, the government's mismanaged money all year long. Everyone's questioning how they're going to pay for stuff. They're going to need alternatives to make money, and they're going to need something that's relatively bipartisan. By relatively, I mean, we're talking about 80% in the polls for wanting federal legalization. I think as this occurs, we'll see a quick catalyst to also psychedelic stocks, and the conversations will start on those, as the science for the psychedelic stocks is actually much more solid and much higher consensus than with the pot stocks. End of the day, I think all of these will be winners. And I mean, let's even just take a moment to just think about how incredible these management teams are. They've managed to take most of these companies from bleeding money and not being able to work in most countries to now smooth, efficient, profitable machines that have navigated all sorts of different legislation and tricky trade routes and even different storage issues. They're killing it. And even though a lot of these stocks burn investors in 2021, I do expect them to come right back in 2022. The fundamentals make sense. The sentiment seems to be there. I think pot stocks and psychedelic stocks will be a big winner in 2022. And our next prediction is going to be completely from left field. I'm predicting Africa to be a massive winner in 2022. I think a lot of these decentralized applications becoming more applicable, and I think DeFi starting to really build up momentum, and even technology becoming more widely adopted. I think this is all a huge benefit for Africa. Remember, Africa's main issue is that there's a lot of corruption. It's hard to get money to where you need it to go. It's creating all this collusion and nefarious activity, but decentralized finance is going to be a huge catalyst for these economies. And we've already seen this in Nigeria, and I think we'll start to see this really ripple out. The growth curve here looks great. I do expect big winner to be Africa, and I do expect that to actually continue for many years to come. And coming back to the social media stocks, I think that there's two contenders that are going to be competing for the thrones with Google and with Twitter. And one is Getter, the Twitter competitor. And this is a free speech advocating application. Joe Rogan just gave it an excellent kickoff. And the next one fighting with Google is Rowdy. Rowdy is another free speech, even showing how much people make on their videos type of transparency. Now that's a YouTube competitor. Now granted, the site pretty awful, and even the voting system for the videos, I don't like it. Now, but here's one of the things: easy fixes, and two, they're IPOing soon. So when we see that, when we start to see money start to come in, I think this could start to garnish a lot more interest. And really, all you need is that kickoff and that adoption, and the old actors to become outdated and have negative sentiment. We're already seeing that. YouTube got rid of the dislike button. No one's happy about that nonsense. I think both these companies, Getter and Router, could start to become a mainstream thing. And that's going to be it for our 2022 predictions. Remember, check out the links in the bio. If you join the Discord, you can also see what companies that we're looking at. You can also go back through our videos and watch the 2022 portfolio breakdown, which I break down one of my long-term portfolios that I manage, and also one of our Discord members also breaks down his as well. Those are really helpful videos. Make sure you check them out. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, maybe hit that bell so you don't miss future videos. And we're going to try to continue to keep this pace heading into the new year. I'm doing TikToks every day. We got new t-shirts coming out. It's going to be exciting. I hope to see you in the Discord, and I'll see you in the next episode of The Nobel Show.